So we are group number 1, and we're gonna touch base on international structure and specific issues. I will start off by talking a little bit about the OECD organization, about its history, the objectives, what was the path that our country, Colombia, kind of took, the steps they took to join this organization, and what is the standing that they have right now. So the OECD is basically the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It was initially established in 1948 in Europe after World War II. And back then, it was actually called the European Economic Cooperation, the OEEC. Basically, it was created as a group established by the European leaders. They saw it kind of as a solution in order to reconstruct the whole European continent and of the damages that were left after the war. What happened after was many years after they established the group, the United States and Canada saw it was a big success and they decided to join. Once they decided to join, a new treaty was signed and a new name was given to the organization. That's how the OECD was actually established. And the new name was, after those countries joined, was the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And this was signed in 1961. And it actually just celebrated its 50th anniversary. As of today, 36 countries are part of this organization, and their main objective is basically to promote policies that will help improve the economic and social well-being of people from countries all over the world. So what they help do is kind of build trust between the markets so that it can be economic growth, support and kind of push innovation in different countries, the Go Green strategies. They support a lot the third world countries, emerging markets such as ourselves here in Colombia. And they make sure that people from all ages kind of get a decent education. They get quality development in order for them to actually be able to get a job and sustain it and maintain it once they grow up. So as of right now, 36 countries are part of this organization. Colombia will actually be the 37th country. However, they are not officially yet a member. They have been invited to join as a 37th country. However, the way it works, they set up a roadmap, kind of like a roadmap for the country that has established themselves kind of in good standing to join them. And once they follow this roadmap, they will be allowed to join. So basically how it works, the first thing that they need to do for a country to join is they need to express their interest in joining the organization. They have to send a written letter of intent saying that, you know, they're interested in joining the organization. After that, the Secretary General tells kind of the Council and the other countries from the organization about these countries, their information, and they go into deep research. So what they discuss is kind of like their government policies, how strict they are in the internet making policies, where they stand on bribery. They look into their international investments, their capital, the invisible movements as well. After this, it's after the council and the Secretary General get together, they decide whether they're going to accept this country to go into a sessions or not. After they decide, they notify the country if they've been accepted or if there's going to be another direction that they will be taken, and from there they establish a roadmap that the country is supposed to follow. Right now, that is exactly what Colombia is doing. Our former president first approached in 2011. Then in 2013, we were actually invited formally to start discussions to join the accession. And then in 2018, in May, we were actually invited to join as the 37th country. Right now, we're on the works. We're following the roadmap. Many positive impacts have come from this, and we're still working to hopefully very soon become the 37th country to join the OECD.
Well, as Colombia has been selected to be part of OECD group, and as its motto says, better policies for a better life. For that reason, one of the advantages for Colombia belonging to this organization are generate greater employment thanks to direct foreign investments. The countries that are in the OECD have greater benefits with respect to financing. This is important since there is economic support which makes companies grow and remain in the industry. To have instruments of international cooperation avoids taxes evasions. This support allows new companies to better understand the whole tax uses and how to avoid falling into some misunderstandings and being able to allow the rule to the letter. Another advantage is that being recognized as a country with this certificate of belonging to the OECD, it will have more opportunities to have great international relations because it will be considered as a reliable and stable country for the future for future investments. So some disadvantages for Colombia, first of all, is the process to enter the organization, since it is the process that can be delayed for a long time by the different regulations and norms that are imposed on the country for security reasons. Another disadvantage may be the expense in which they incur greater expenses of national budget due to membership of belonging to this organization and for other security terms.
Hi, I'm Stephanie with Group 1. I'm going to summarize one conclusion regarding Colombia joining the OECD. This is obviously a great opportunity for Colombia, and it represents a big step forward in Colombia's growth as a world market contributor. Just as I'm sure many supporters of the organization see this as a big positive, it could also have a large negative impact if we are not careful. As my companion Valeria mentioned, the criteria for prospective members included topics such as social stances on freedom of speech, internet access, and bribery. One of Colombia's most notorious characteristics is our relationship with corruption and violence. And although we have largely dealt with our issues of violence, we cannot honestly say that we are a country free of corruption. That is why our acceptance into the OECD should be taken very seriously. Let me summarize first what Colombia has to gain from joining the OECD. Obviously, becoming a greater presence in the international community allows us to both take advantage of the good diplomatic and economic relationship with other countries, as well as support the global community with the resources and assets that Colombia has to offer. Being included in organizations such as this, as well as free trade agreement and international causes like cleaning up the environment creates more bonds and lays more foundation and influence with powerful countries. It is also by the greatest way Colombia may be able to benefit from the opportunity where foreigners are kidnapped and bombs kill innocent people. We are finally being seen as a potential global competitor and even a place for tourism. If Colombia is able to take advantage of its new image, this organization could be another reason to trust the Colombian market and invest in our potential. Now let me talk about the potential negative impact of acceptance into the OECD. People are still not 100% invest on Colombia. There is still doubt because we do still have some issues. We still suffer from corruption. Many are rightfully worried that investment in Colombia's future is really just an investment in a corrupt politician's bank account. People can be sure that Colombia will achieve its full potential if there is still a culture of more Colombian pesos ending up in a corrupt official's pocket than in the public and private service that they are supposed to support. We have to be sure that moving forward Colombia puts its best foot first. What it means is with this great opportunity also comes the great pressure of being in the global spotlight. We can become a big competitor globally like Japan with a good reputation and confidence in our economy. Or we could become a global competitor like Brazil with a lot of potential and vast resources, but known for the corruption and violence that hurt in never receiving the full trust of its global competitors.